Welcome, everyone, to the Wise Potatoes podcast. It's just me in the studio today, so I hope you're having a magical day, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are from. It's a solo cast this time around because I just wanted to provide an update on the year that was past. The last year was weird, I suppose. I need to explain. It's been a year to this day since I took the sabbatical. A lot had happened to this point, and in a great effort to reconcile with all that had happened, I had to take time to myself. So I chose to do something for me. I took a leave of absence. Now, it's the first time I did. And if I'm brutally honest, nothing felt right at the point in life. I mean, a huge jolt to my system was just felt. Catalysts for change always occur when we least expect them to, or want them to even. Looking at it a year later, it perhaps was necessary, albeit really I could have done without it as I was going through it at the time. Now, I don't want to make this sound like a bad thing. The year finished off strong for me, with me achieving some monumentous goals and forward movement for me in all fronts. But still, I felt something needed to change, and that something was me. Now, don't worry, the sabbatical was not about eating cornflakes on a couch and watching TV. It wasn't that at all. There was a purpose. As with any change, there's a period where you need deep introspection, deep analysis of self, and definitely that would come. But first, my goal was to rest. I absolutely was fatigued, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And most recently on our podcast, if you've been keeping up, we discussed this level of fatigue. So I had to deal with each: physical with rest, mental with meditation, emotional with feeling deeply and talking about it. And obviously, easier said than done in some cases. Dealing with each, you have to really feel them to its fullest and its maximum. It also happens in waves, it's never easy, one healing. Never linear, never set times as well. After this initial period of rest, I think the real work began. Now, with some level of clarity, it was about then looking at what work needed to be done. Now, I'm talking about personal work, the shadow work, as it's commonly called in industry. Now, my mentor and I had conversations about this in length and how to actually target certain areas. It's painful. No journey to true self ever is easy. Having done this before many times, I know. For the first time ever, I'd like to say that no one will really know the violence it takes to break free, to go to war with yourself. What an emotional roller coaster it has been. I think pain shows you what really matters and who matters. It's a brutal teacher, but its lessons are unforgettable, and you can certainly learn to appreciate all that is light in your life. Because at this stage, you know only the dark. Now, I can tell you that there were times that being that couch potato was so tempting. But nothing worth doing is ever easy. I think one of the things that got me to be consistent and dedicated to this again was that really I lost something that required to be reacquired. I'd like to say that something was me. Now, your reasons for doing anything must always begin with you. Earlier I said I went to war with myself. That entails breaking down everything again and critically analyzing self and deciding that what no longer serves you doesn't belong. It's also really about kindness and forgiveness inward. You should always be able to forgive yourself and hold space for yourself. We are all not the same. We take time to learn things and truly improve ourselves. The forgiving part was difficult. Forgiving myself for letting things slide. Forgiving myself for accepting bare minimums. Forgiving myself for accepting mediocrity. Forgiving myself for making mistakes when I should have known better. It also takes a lot of courage to work on reparenting and unlearning things within self. I have always been prepared to do the work. Always. The hours of silence, of what ifs, the hours of whys, where you question everything. But I am glad to say now that all of those things have turned into what could I learn from all of this? Essentially, that is what this was about. Asking the right questions to receive the right answers to move forward. The journey also wasn't a static one. I decided this time to do it in motion. By that I mean travel. Arbitrarily deciding to do the journey of one of the great English explorers, David Livingstone, to travel from the west coast of Africa to the east coast, following the path of the Zambezi. Now, I'm not a stranger to travel, but removing myself from environments I thought was for the best. I wasn't constantly on the road. I did have some amazing events to come back home to, and every other chance I got, I was back on the road. I'd say the travel really grounded me. When you feel like such great changes are needed, grounding yourself back to earth or nature helps so much with your energy. Gave me another chance again, to have time and space to sit with myself. Sometimes the universe helps you out as well, in the most unexpected ways. The wonderful people and cultures I interacted with reminded me again of true self, ever so often throwing hints at me. This journey and its outcomes, as I see it, expanded my consciousness and spirituality. I feel more in tune now than I ever did before. And I am glad that it happened. All those past versions of me have served me, but this is now a truer center than ever. You feel when things change. You feel it in your body, your heart, and really from within. Journeying this time felt good. Not at all pretty at times, but good. I have always advocated for understanding oneself, always advocated for forging your own path, always advocated for lifelong love of your life. All it really takes is the decision to be better. After anything that happens, I've always immediately taken those steps, the steps to be better. And really, it takes a great level of consciousness to understand steps are required in the first place. And when you unlock this, the 3D world changes for you. It's funny, when you get better, things get better. And what you can manifest really surprises you. Another outcome of turning inward is being 10 times happier, as well as being a fair amount more clear on what needs to stay and what goes. There's this ascension within yourself. You're more honest and expressive. I'm so loving this part. Now at least. The earlier parts, not so much. But then, that again is another lesson. Lesson to appreciate the road less traveled. I hate this saying at times. When you're going through some things, there's nothing to enjoy. But those really are tower moments. Opportunities to break free. And so, you break free from all those old patterns and create newer, healthier ones. I'm also going to throw into this that in some senses I've learned more about letting go and detaching. Not an easy thing in the slightest to do. But doing the opposite hurts us, and that's definitely not what I wanted for myself. At the end of the day, the question I asked myself to set me free was, do you choose you, or do you continuously choose that which doesn't? The choice at that point was very easy. I was stuck in that cycle for a while, until I was ready to break free. So if you're in some sense stuck, take it easy on yourself. What you feel is valid, and never try to hide it. Time passed on, and I've definitely learned to manage every part of my life a little bit better, or a lot better. You see, that's what deep introspection does. That's what getting help and doing the work as well does for you. You don't have to go to the length that I went to in terms of taking time off, but you can at least start in some ways, making those small changes you're not making, or getting the help necessary to break those past trauma cycles. We also can't let life harden us. I think there were moments in time where really I wanted to turn villain and really hit back at the world and others. Man, I prevented myself from doing so. But that was really against my core person, or who I am actually. Life's challenges are not supposed to paralyze you. They're supposed to help you discover who you are. And everything that you and I are going through right now is doing exactly that. Yes, my giddy optimism is weird right now, but we are being forged into something new. Sure, it feels weird, but it means we are shedding versions of ourselves. You're not meant to feel comfortable at this point. So my advice, lean into it and power on. There's also an element of fear to it too. But I'm here to say that fear just keeps you from your infinite self. At the beginning, even I was scared. Scared of what would become of me. Scared of what I would uncover about myself. Scared of next steps. But I realized that fear was the initial barrier, and once I calmly told the fear that this is something that is benefiting us, those were put to rest. And the more there was uncovered, the more I was able to cut through. And just like that, another level unlocked. That being said, what my aim was to grow into a version of me that was an amplification of what was already there. More kind, more understanding, more giving, and etc. Just more. There's that saying, a year from now your life will look different. You will look different. That is true here. I am definitely not the same as I was a year back. A promise I made to myself a long time ago was to always be more for me, something I keep doing every day. As I close out this chapter, as I close off the year away, I look back at how far I've come again, how much I've put to rest, how much I have worked out. Emotions run high as I realize that this life I have lived is so full. But it didn't get there on its own. It has been constant work. And if you take anything away from this, know that you can change for the positive at any instant. Life changes that quickly for you. All you need is a plan, the roadmap, and the courage to press on to your destination. I'd also like to say that if you're feeling lost or have feelings of discontentment in your life, remember that you ultimately have the option to step back, slow things down, and get certain about what to do next. It's okay if the answers don't come immediately. It's not worth the rush. Rather, take your time and work things out for you. You are never behind on your timeline. You are where you need to be right now. Living a life that is content, full, and joyful is up to you. Too often we make the mistake of living for others first and putting us on the back burner. Do the things that are true to you. Go to the places, see the things, experience everything that you can. Life is about experiences and the intensity at which we experience them. Even for me, this journey was rediscovering all of that fascination and curiosity with life again. It's been a blast, y'all. But it doesn't stop here just because of the gap year is over. It's going to be an amazing road ahead, and I am looking forward to it and the wonders that come. And if you're looking for your first wonder, I'll leave you with this. That wonder is you. Goodbye.